people who continually erase the past are blind to the present.
We need to win this battle.
We owe it to the future generations to preserve Takanassee.
Coastal development is no longer sustainable.
I would just like to see it preserved.
Again, good morning. My name is Stephanie Rinaldi, and I am the chair of the Jersey Shore chapter of the Surfrider Foundation. Thanks, John. I can't tell you how delighted I am to see such an amazing turnout for such an important event this morning. We're here to save Tac Beach and to convince the DEP that they need to deny the CAFRA permit. Woo! And I would be remiss if I didn't say, and to save the amazing piece of history of our life-saving homes over on the Tac Beach property.
And what's the historic nature of the lifeguard station here? I understand that the U.S. Coast Guard actually started right here at Takanassee Beach.
Yeah, it goes back to 1848 or something like that. So.
And this was a life-saving station.
Yeah, it was the first one.
First one.
If we get to a 3-day northeaster in January and go back about 100 or so years, and if you're a life-saving station crewman, you would be obligated to go out in sub-zero temperatures with blizzards and hail to get to the beach in the middle of the night without any lights on, with the elements blasting in your face after you've gone a mile or so with a huge apparatus, because women and children and whole European families would be hanging in the rigging 200 yards off the beach after about a 2-week Atlantic journey where they'd be sloshing around probably in their own waste. So the lifesavers are essentially called on to use the most admirable qualities of our human spirit just to perform those activities. So in a sense, we can't really disregard, or perhaps some people would consider it spitting in the face of that kind of spirit. So we must save those stations and their current relationship, which is just north, as Councilman Unger mentioned, just north of Takanassee Lake.
What do you think about the preservation of this site for the future? I mean, do you think this site should be saved for future generations, or should it become luxury condos?
No, that's why I'm here. I definitely think it should be saved. This is one of 2 such sites in the United States that has 3 life-saving stations upon it. It is a rare treasure that we must protect. We must save Takanassee. I believe that what we should envision for this area is this area as a historical zone. There is so much history here. When you read the history of the 19th century, so much is written about the importance of Long Branch, the importance of this section of Long Branch. To allow this treasure to be destroyed would be such a travesty that I don't think we would ever recover. We owe it to the children who are in this room. We owe it to the future generations to preserve Takanassee.
It's my understanding if we do succeed in getting the state on board, and I think the state is definitely going to want to consider this. I've had discussions with Green Acres with some senior officials, and they consider this a very important site. Do you think the family will go along with the state acquisition?
I think so. My sister just wants to sell it. I don't know what her...
She just wants to sell and get out, yeah. But does it matter really in the end where your check comes from?
No, it doesn't. I would just like to see it preserved as a historic site or whatever.
I'd now like to introduce Dr. Bill Rosenblatt, who is the chair of the Surfrider's National Board of Directors.
I didn't say your That's okay. Thanks very much. One of the things that Surfrider is founded on, a principle, is we are, and these words are important, as Brian said, dedicated, that's a D, to the protection, that's a P, and the enjoyment, that's an E, dedicated to the protection and enjoyment of the world's oceans, beaches, and waves. I'd hate to think that DEP in New Jersey stands for destruction of the environment through permitting. Because that's what we're looking at here. This is not what we're hoping for. And as people have said today, read the rules. This will also, coastal development is no longer sustainable. Look around Monmouth County. Do we have a shortage of luxury condominiums and living spaces? Or do we have a shortage of open space and accessible beaches that can be used for the enjoyment of others? This is also, development also becomes the beginning of a costly and ineffective cycle that we all fund as taxpayers. Putting condominiums across the street will develop a contingency that will then demand renourishment and replenishment of beaches. That comes from my pocket and yours.
If it's acquired by the state and the city, they would have to run the beach club.
Yeah, right.
Unless you can purchase it.
I understand that.
But perhaps you could help us run it with all your experience and the experience of your family and your managers like Pete Woolley. Maybe you could help us, or at least help the city run the beach club or run the facility.
Whatever. Work something out to keep it as a beach club.